Well, hello everyone. This is Murray Miller, and I am excited to be on tonight's validation call. We like to do this call just for people that are maybe, new to the industry, new to the company, and just haven't really had the opportunity to really wrap their arms around what it is that they have. And, especially tonight, I want to definitely reach out to the guys that are in the audience that are listening, because there are so many successful women in this company. There are so many powerful women in this company. There are so many women that have been able to come out of retirement or retire their husbands or leave corporate America. And, I marvel when I go to the Isagenix events and I see these women after women after women walking across the stage. And because of that, sometimes men are intimidated or think maybe this is just for women, and I have to tell you, it is so far from the truth that it's not even funny. When men figure this out, they're going to come in droves, and I know for all of you powerful ladies on the call tonight that are either trying to get your significant other to see the opportunity, or you're approaching business owners that are male, or you're bringing in corporate executives and they're not quite able to wrap their brain around it. Tonight, I'm going to give you some things to really think about. I look at Isagenix from the standpoint of a business owner, and I have a heated passion over this company, and I have a love affair going on with this company because of what I know I have in my hands. And what I have in my hands is an amazing opportunity and what I like to call the perfect business. A little background on myself is, I have an entrepreneurial history. At a young age, when I was just starting out, I started a property and casualty business, and I built that up into a medium-sized company. I was able to sell that company eventually. I was living and working down in Boca Raton, Florida at the time. During the dot-com boom, I started an internet business, which took off and had a moderate success with that company, but I crashed along with a lot of other people, and that didn't get very far. Otherwise, maybe I'd be sitting on a beach right now, or maybe not. Maybe I'd still be involved with this. It depends on how you look at it. More recently, in the last couple of decades, I've had three businesses. I currently am partner, owner, and investor in numerous businesses, including a college planning business. I have a software business that I'm involved in, and a financial services company. I also own some commercial real estate. So I have been around this business world. I've been on both sides of it, and I really want you to know that when I'm talking to you tonight, I'm talking completely from experience and from my heart, not so much from my head. And when I talk from my head, which I'll describe in just a few minutes, the things that are just irrefutable, but when I talk from my heart, you'll hear the passion that takes place when you really truly understand what Isagenix offers us. All of the companies that I've been in have had some sort of success and profitability. However, with time, most of them became somewhat of a grind. And what I mean by a grind is that even though I liked what I did and I felt like I was helping people, and some businesses better than others, the overhead typically starts to build. It starts slow, and then it starts to build, and then little by little you start to grow, and your payroll increases, and you give better employee benefits, and you're hiring better people, and people are getting tenure, and you're paying rent, or in some cases you may own a building and you're paying a mortgage, and you become a little bit of a landlord, and you're dealing with building maintenance and insurance and renters, and then there's the whole legal side of being in business with contracts that you have to have with people and insurances that you have to set up, and you have to have bookkeeping, and of course you have to do your accounting and have taxes, business taxes, federal taxes. If you do business in multiple states, there's state taxes in more than one state because you're earning income in more than one state. I mean, this goes on and on and on. And this is typical. And if sales slow down for you, your overhead doesn't. And most business owners that I know end up working more hours than a typical employee, even a corporate employee trying to climb the corporate ladder, because they have to. They don't have a choice. They don't have the luxury of sick days. They don't have the luxury of vacations because everything depends on them. They become the 100% focal point of their income generation. And for years, I used to say it fondly, but I really didn't mean it, that I was the Murray Show. Everything was about me, and if I wasn't there to make a decision, it just didn't happen. And, as much as I tried to leverage myself, it was difficult. And, I did take a percentage of everyone's productivity as profit to myself. At the end of the day, when things were good, it was great, but it wasn't always that way. Network marketing is the great equalizer. However, like most businesses, there are literally tons of startups every year, and you can count on the fingers of one hand how many of these network marketing companies are around after 5 years. So they're not all created equal. When some companies start, if you think about this for just a second, getting a product or service out through a network marketing model is literally a brilliant concept, because you basically have a volunteer sales staff that you only have to pay when they sell something. And the product doesn't move out of your warehouse until it's paid for. That is a fantastic business model, and it becomes very attractive to companies that want to get a product or service out. But what we found in the industry, and with 25 plus years experience in this industry, I can tell you that there are a lot of companies out there that have copycat products, or what we call Me Too products, or maybe just insignificant products that are not that different than what you can buy on the store shelves, or maybe they don't even have a real product. Like, I know there's a lot of network marketing companies out there that have a discount program or a travel program or a membership program to an online shopping mall. They don't even have their own products, but they're offering discounts. And you know what? All of those companies, you can make money in them, but building a team of passionate people with like-minded, locked arms, moving forward with a cause, not going to happen in those companies. Corporate inexperience is also another reason that many of these companies go out of business. They don't have the experience, or there's internal fighting, or for whatever reason they can't seem to make it happen. It could be a lack of integrity. All of these things take place. And, the industry has been tainted with people explaining that if you get in at the beginning, you're going to be successful because everyone in the company will come under you. And that is so far from the truth, because there are so many people that get in at the beginning and then there is no middle or end because the company can't stay in business. And that's happened so many hundreds, if not thousands of times just in the last decade. And I know people that have gone through this, and it's disheartening. Once in a great while, a company comes along with what I like to call a full house. They have got a highly consumable and emotional product that people get behind. These are products that move people, not people moving products, but people put the products in their body and they get excited because they feel different, and they tell people about it and people ask them about it. That's the emotional side of it. Isagenix has that to the nth degree. When I tell you that people use these products and get excited, find out for yourself. Because once you start taking our Cleanse for Life and you start going through a nutritional cleanse program, or you start taking our shakes, or you're taking our e-shots, or you're using the vitamins on a daily basis, you start to get into a regime, and you don't want to be without these products. And the stories are amazing. Go to isatestimonials.com and your mind will be blown. And that is the first key element, to have a product that really moves people. What iced it for me, and honestly, Susan and I, my wife and I, do this business together. She more than me, because I'm still involved with all those other companies that I mentioned earlier, and I'm winding some of that stuff down and spending more time with Isagenix. And this is really what's keeping me up at night. I mean, when I get off this call, after being on calls pretty much out throughout the day, I've got another training call, and I love it. It's given me more excitement, more energy than I've had in many, many years. But we retired from this industry for 15 years because we thought the industry was flawed. We had success in our first company. The company is still around today, multi-billion-dollar company, but the compensation plan was flawed. There was no question, because even though we became part of the millionaire circle of that company inside of our first few years in the business, and we rose to the top and traveled the world, what we found is after the fact, people that were getting involved when the company was 5 and 7 years old couldn't have the same success that we had when we had gotten started, and they were putting in the same effort. So what happened is the compensation plan today, I consider it antiquated. At the time, it was state-of-the-art, but it had a compression model so that people that couldn't maintain volumes and be a super salesperson and a super recruiter, they would lose their entire organization. It would roll up to the person above them. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical to have that kind of a compensation plan. You work so hard to get your people involved. Why would you want to have something that squeezes them out? So, we used to, I was brainwashed, honestly, because I told the same story that everyone else told is, you know what, the weak people have to be weeded out. That is so not true. I thought it was true at the time, but that's not true. And Isagenix has proved that. Jim and Kathy Coover, with their experience, the co-founders of this company, have created a compensation plan that when Susan and I saw this 2.5 years ago, we said, we didn't think this could ever happen. We could not believe what they had put together. A compensation plan where you didn't have to build 10 teams, 12 teams, 15 teams to make it to the top level of that company, which like our previous company, but you had to build 2 teams. And you weren't paid on levels. You were paid on volume. In our previous company, if you hit the top of the compensation plan, you would be able to receive volume and paid commissions on 6 levels, which was 3 times more levels than any other company had done before, which was amazing. And then Isagenix comes along with a compensation plan that pays to infinity and then caps you at $13,500 a week in residual income, plus bonuses, which you could double with matching bonuses on the people that you sponsor. So you're talking about $27,000 a week in one business center building 2 teams, and then you can build a second business center and a third business center like our sponsors are doing right now. It's absolutely unheard of. That got us thinking, not only can we create a phenomenal retirement income from this, but we can create a generational income, something that can create long-term legacy income for our kids and for their kids. And that keeps me up at night. Now, when we talk about corporate leadership with experience, these people don't just have to have experience on how to build a compensation plan. They have to be willing to put their resources back into the company, into the technology, into the employees that are actually helping us build this company worldwide. Attract talented employees, attract talented research and development personnel and scientists, and of course, take really good care of their associates. Us, the people in the field. And that's exactly what this company has been doing for 12 years. The other key thing to have a full house would be to have perpetual momentum. And perpetual momentum to me is a company that grows year after year after year after year. Now, when I was at Top Achievers last year, their once-a-year meeting for all the top achievers for that particular year, I heard Kathy Coover talk about what their goal is with this company, and I was blown away. I literally walked out of that room blown away when they talked about their corporate vision getting close to $75 billion and being the largest health, wellness, nutrition company in the world. And they truly believe it, and they've got a game plan to make it happen. They're investing in the future. That got me excited, especially knowing that we hadn't done our first $500 million inside of a 12-month period of time, which we just achieved. We're on track to do $1 billion in 2015. That's a lot of growth ahead of us. And yet we've already created 125 independent millionaires, which is amazing for a company this size to be able to do that. All these people work for themselves. They don't work for the company. So that being said, what's the last element to have the full house? Well, it's real simple to me. You have to have a system. You have to have a proven system of duplication, and we have that. And it all starts with the 90-day game plan. So if you're new, You need to get out the 90-day game plan, and you need to follow it. You need to not make any judgments on it. You just need to do it. I mean, what else are you going to do for 90 days that could set you up for the rest of your life with proper aggressive involvement with this company? And I shouldn't even say aggressive. It's only aggressive in the fact that you have to be committed to do it part-time. And part-time to me is 6, 8, or 10 hours a week. And it has to be deliberate. And if you're willing to give up your TV time or whatever it is you spend 6 or 8 hours a week doing that you really could be more productive, then you can have success with this company. So what you do when this comes along is you jump in and you plug in and you get things moving. And everyone seems to have a comfort zone with how they choose to build. And there's so many different ways that you can be successful in Isagenix. From my experience, building fast works better than anything else. And, you know, I kind of liken it to taking off a Band-Aid. It hurts when you do it slow, and it's more painful. But when you do it fast, it's just like, boom, okay. Yeah, it was a little bit out of my comfort zone for a little while, but, that first 90 days is the hardest, and then all of a sudden you start to pick up momentum. You know, Isagenix has invested tens of millions of dollars in technology. This gives us the opportunity to be up and running instantaneously. They give us a self-replicating consumer-facing website that is literally up and running within 5 minutes. Then they hand us a back office that is available automatically to manage our entire business. Now, I cannot begin to tell you the countless hours of development time and money that I've spent on starting, updating, and maintaining our corporate websites, never mind our prospecting and recruiting systems in my traditional companies. I am talking about multiple six figures in a short period of time, and it continues to grow, and it never ends. They have built a prospecting and recruiting element to go inside this that you can use in the beginning. I think you can start for the first 60 or 90 days with no charge, and then there's a small charge of $25 or $40 a month, something like that. I don't even know. I have it charged to my card every month. But it allows me, when I get a new person on a product that wants to use a product, it allows me to just put their email address in, and they get a daily email telling them what's going on. It looks like it's coming from me. It's coming from the system. If I'm following up on someone that I'm dripping on them, they're somewhat interested, their timing's not right for whatever reason, they don't want to get in the business right away, I can set them up so they can start receiving these emails. And they have links, and they have different information that people can just start to breathe comfortably that maybe they can fit into this culture of people that are moving forward with this. You know, I have to tell you, the way that they've built and the money that they've spent in technology has been absolutely incredible. And then, of course, on our team, we've got our Facebook pages, our private and secret Facebook pages to build, prospect, recruit, and, of course, support ourselves, support our teams. You know, as far as getting started, like I said, it might take you out of your comfort zone at first, but once you've done what you're supposed to do with that 90-day game plan, you've started a list, you put some names down, make no judgments, write a list. They'll give you memory joggers on the people that you know, the people that you've met, the people that you're acquainted to. And then you just very, very easily, at least for me it's easy, get the information out there that you're involved in something that you're excited about. Can't make them any promises, but you've got something for them to look at. You send them a video. You send them to a website. You get them on a call. You follow up with someone that is in your organization that can help you with the three-way call to validate like we're doing tonight. And you just remember all the time that we're only looking for volunteers. There's no selling. There's no convincing. This is just sharing information, and people will self-select and decide that they're interested. Now, I personally have never done a launch party, which is successful for a lot of people. So I know that can be successful if that's what you want to do. For me, I'd rather pass on information. I'd rather use technology. I mean, I bumped into someone at the gym I hadn't seen in a long time this morning. I said to them, you know what, I have absolutely no idea if this is for you, but I'm involved in something I'm excited about. I can send you a quick video. It'll just take a few minutes to watch it. If you're interested, you can get back to me. I certainly can't make any promises. And then I told them a little bit about how it's working for me, and they were like, yeah, definitely, send me the information. I have no idea if this person's going to be interested or who they know, but you know, when I look at them, I look at not just that one person, I look at their whole Rolodex, and I've seen how a team can build from just a few people to literally tens of thousands of people over a 2.5-year period of time, and how that income can be just absolutely staggering. It's hard to see it in the beginning. It really is. When you get that first check from Isagenix and it's for, $135 or something like that, when you first start out, how you can see that turning into tens of thousands of dollars. But I will tell you, it does. We've been involved just a little over 2.5 years, and the interesting thing is, we got our kids involved, not necessarily doing the business, but just involved with the culture of people and the corporate culture, and we've taken them to a few events. And my son, who's the younger one, my daughter's definitely in. She's all in. She's graduating college this year, and she's so excited about Isagenix. She's beside herself. But my son's just 14, and he's just barely going into his freshman year of high school. And he came to our conference in August, what we call our celebration, and he sat through the conference. And I just kind of was in awe that he just sat there, not bored, and watched everything and took it all in. And he's a bright kid. And we had a beautiful penthouse apartment that was just a couple of blocks away, and we had party after party, night after night, bringing people back to our suite. That we had a penthouse and jacuzzi and all that stuff. We're just enjoying, and had it catered, and people from Australia and New Zealand and from all over the country and around the world came and met with us and talked to us, and all the different religions and cultures, and it was just amazing. And we get on the plane, and we're on our way back from San Diego, and Justin looks at me and says, "Dad, I think I figured out why people say no to Isagenix." And I said, "Okay, I'm ready, I'm game, let's hear it. Why do people say no to Isagenix?" He said, "Dad, they don't know what they're saying no to." I mean, he said that. He said they think they're saying no to a product, or that someone's asking them to sell something, or someone's asking them to do something that they don't understand. He said they don't understand what really Isagenix is all about. And I said, "Justin, that's brilliant. For a 14-year-old to come up with that, to see that most people in their 40s and 50s can't see, or whatever age. It's just funny, that you have to really step away from the trees, right, so that you can see the whole forest. The people that are involved in Isagenix, the people that are on our team, is what drives me. They're all positive. They're all enthusiastic. They're vibrant. They're forward-thinking. They're all in business for themselves, and we're all working in the same direction. To be in a company that has the vision to be the largest nutrition, health, and wellness company in the world, starting from scratch in 2002, and just close to almost $3 billion right now in cumulative sales, starting from scratch in just 12 years, now looking towards $1 billion this year. I mean, I have to ask myself what people are thinking, what they're doing right now, and what their exit strategy is. What can they do over the next 3 years, like proper assertive involvement in this company that can set them up and pay them for the rest of their lives? I have met more people that in 3 years hit the Millionaires Club. They become an Isagenix millionaire, earning over $1 million in the company within 2 to 5 years. We like to call it the 3-year retirement plan. And then they're set up with an income stream, $40,000 or $50,000 a month for the rest of their lives. I mean, there's nothing out there that you can even imagine that can give you not only that financial benefit, but also give you the benefit of having the time freedom to enjoy it. What people do with the Isagenix money is nothing short of amazing. People don't just consume it and keep it to themselves, and everyone is entitled to some of that, but we see people doing amazing things like adopting children with special needs. We see people getting involved in charities, my wife getting involved with charities over in Africa, people getting involved with church groups and helping people. I am so passionate to share this information with you. I hope for just the short time that we were together tonight that I validated for you what Isagenix is truly all about. I would say that if you really want to find out, start the business, use the products, and fly out to Palm Springs at our New Year kickoff and experience Isagenix. You owe it to yourself to see what it is that this company is all about and what this movement is and why people are so excited about it. Again, guys, my name is Murray Miller. I am thrilled to have you on the call tonight. I'm excited that you're listening, and I hope that you decide to join us. For all of you that are new, you can do this. You just have to have a positive attitude, a willingness to work, and, a team effort is really what pulls it all together at the end of the day. Isagenix is a market interrupter. It is changing the way that we earn a living. I hope you join us. Thanks for being on tonight's call, and I look forward to hearing from you on the next call. Good night, everyone.